Malcolm thought about his trip to Hong Kong and his exchange with me. Fears motivated, he wondered if it was another rule of Carney. He wondered if there was a rule that covered being run over by a BMW. You think the cars that you hid something to do with the loan project? He asked Carrie, putting it out to the open. I don't know. We need to be careful. These loans are not worth getting killed over. I'd rather be back trading than UK. He was interrupted by a knock on the open door. Malcolm looked on his shoulder and saw Saya standing there. She was shaking and she could tell she'd been crying. Carrie stood there and said something to her in Japanese. She nodded, moving forward. Carrie gave Malcolm a nod and headed for the door. Alone in the hospital room, Malcolm held Saya close with his bandaged hands and let her cry against his chest. After a few quiet minutes, he pulled her head up so she could look at him. Then she forced a smile. Trust me, I've looked a worst. You should have been me after my first college football game. I got hit so hard my head swelled up like a bell. This is nothing. Saya laughed, touching his forehead. Then she lowered her voice. Malcolm, I cannot lose you. I cannot. He felt her words in spite of her stomach. Tears were brewing in his own eyes. He pulled her face to his lips. It hurt to kiss her, but the pain was well worth it. The stint of her skin made him dizzier than the petrichet. You'll never lose me, Malcolm said, and he knew that he meant it. Despite the problems they had been having, he knew for a fact that nothing was worth losing this woman he had found. Not money. His reputation among the expert traders of Tokyo, nothing, not even Carney. Malcolm held her with both hands, and he listened to the sound of her tears. There was thick, with noxious but familiar fumes of vast quantities of fried Chinese food, which made a lot of sense considering that the alley was standing in line between two of the biggest Chinese buffet-style restaurants I had ever seen. It was past midnight, but Queens was closing up to Manhattan for not to be matter. I imagined that if I'd somehow launched myself high above the squat warehouse-style restaurants, I have been able to see the glow of the financial districts in the distance, but I was grounded deep in the narrow alley, bordered on both sides by high cinder block walls, and the alley did feel like New York. The ground littered with Chinese newspapers, flyers, discarded take-out cards. The cinder blocks walls were placed with posters advertising the latest Chinese pop stars and other competing buffets scattered all over Queens. If I hadn't known better, I'd have thought we'd taken a wrong turn, getting off the bridge and somehow teleported to the middle of Hong Kong. That's up ahead. The kid leading me down to the narrow passage only added the illusion. Douglas' chin was short and wiry, with a patch of pitch-black hair and slightly bow-legged gait. He was Chinese, born just a few blocks from the alley in the center of Queens, spawning Chinatown. Even though his family had been living in the area for 3 generations, Malcolm described him pretty accurate in Phoebe, flesh of the boat. I imagined that was because in Queens it didn't matter how long ago the boat arrived. Chinese community had recreated the fact, same world they had fought hard to escape. Репетитор по скайпу, Smart Teacher 197.